My brother, the revolutionary yourself, Darius Lockhart, and I'm here to tell you to watch Powerbombshells every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. That's right, every Sunday at 1 p.m. and that's on time, every time, because when we stand together, what time is it? That's right, it's nation time.
Welcome to episode 182 of Powerbombshells. I am Mel. That is Sam. It is not Sunday at 1 p.m. It is Saturday at 11 a.m. and it is All Out Day. Woo-hoo. How are you, Sam?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for today's show. Only one show that's happening today, not the other one. I don't care about that one.
That one is becoming a little bit of my
I will not
over there. I'm actually no. That's my point and laugh. I've got popcorn, and I'm that popcorn meme with the Stephen Colbert with the 3D glasses, watching what's going on over there. I think it's from an outside observer's perspective, it's embarrassing but hilarious because I feel it's going to be, and this is a perfect week for ESPN to fall flat on their face, in my opinion. So I can't wait till all these people realize how much they're going to have to pay for all that. And it just, I never had any interest in watching a show with a guy that's named 44 times in a lawsuit for sex trafficking.
He's opening the show. They're opening.
Let alone on a network owned by the people that are involved in some of the shenanigans that went on this week. So in my I'm over here I hope that goes down. I'm hoping that's the dumpster fire in the river floating down the river gif.
I don't have. I would love that, but I don't have. I think it. I don't.
Sam, I'm speaking it into the universe, and you better shut up about it because I'm over here waiting to see people. Oh, we'd have to pay, but it's not.
Oh no, they did last night because I was on live coverage for SmackDown last night, and they did several segments with R-Truth explaining to other wrestlers how to get it on there and how to watch it. And it was and people were like, this is still confusing. Even with R-Truth explaining it twice, they did one thing where he explained to Los Garza and then he did it again. And it was Motor City and I forget who was with them. There's somebody with them.
I remember. I know that Alex Shelley was involved because somebody said that Alex Shelley looked like his soul died when he had to deliver that segment.
Yes, and apparently I think the reason, other than, humiliating them, I think part of the reason, I believe he's dealing with a broken nose, and since he can't wrestle, they're like, here, go do a segment with R-Truth where he explains the man that R-Truth that we almost fired and we brought back, and we had him serious for 2 weeks. Now we have
because of the blowback. By fans.
And now we have him doing he's back. He's been back to doing comedy, but now he's going to explain to wrestlers and fans alike how to watch today's show.
And as those of us who work with the public at large know, people are super smart and super accustomed to change and are super patient with new systems and treat all that with a ton of patience. And don't run to social media and scream about it. And they don't yell at the people on telephones about it or anything. They're very rational and normal about it when things don't go the way that they expect. And if you didn't detect the sarcasm there, folks, I'm really sorry for you.
So, yes. But luckily, I will be helping out with coverage of All Out today, which is part of the reason we're having the show is earlier because I have to, I want to enjoy the pre-show. Because some people I love are on that pre-show, and we will talk about it. But then I have to help with coverage for the main show, and luckily, since I'm doing helping out with coverage of the main show, I do not have to do coverage of the other show, which thankfully for me, I don't have to deal with. I will probably go back and read. Olivia's wonderful live coverage just so I know what's happening. So on Monday, I'm not like, what happened? I mean, actually, I probably don't even have to read it because they're going to show me 900 times in a package.
Oh, I'm sure. That's right. Yeah, because that's what they do. They show you 2,800 packages to fill time there.
They did that last night before. So the closing segment was a contract signing between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. But before that was a really long video package on John Cena and his opponent. because they've been doing like a look back at their, like, because their paths crossed way back in OVW. So they've been doing like kind of a retrospective type thing. And so I muted it and went and made tea.
Good.
And so I was like, I don't have to cover this part of it because it's just a video package. But then they followed it with another video package it was like, or not a video package. It was like it was a vignette that they did with Solo Sikoa. So there was like a good, like 10 or 15 minutes where there was just 2 videos playing, and then they got to the project side. So I was like, easy night for me. So that's why when my editor was like, hey, do you want to do live coverage? I was like, I mean, I guess. And I was like, I mean, on the one hand, it's super easy, but on the other hand, like, forced me to watch the opening segment with a man who's named 44 times in a lawsuit. So I was forced to watch that and had to write about it. But luckily it didn't last very long. So that was the one positive, is that it was over fairly quickly. So,
excellent. I like to hear that, because I do feel for you when those things are happening.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And again, we remember that Sam does this because she needs to keep her cave over her head.
Right. And so that is, I believe that has concluded that portion of
yes,
the show.
Definitely. Let's move on, because we need to talk about the fun stuff that's happening today in Toronto.
Clearly, the big L media mergers are non-negotiable. Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Paul says that you have a cool hat.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. I do my best. I try to throw some good ones in there.
Yep. Okay. So should we? So I guess we should. So apparently, today is kind of confusing the way they're doing this. They're doing 0 hour at the same time. I guess it's at the same time as the Tailgate Brawl, except for 0 hour has no matches. They're just previewing the show like they normally do. And then Tailgate Brawl, the reason, because originally, remember, before they were counterbooked, this show was on, the main card was at 8:00. The pre-show was at 7. So Tailgate Brawl was going to be on it because it was supposed to just be the main show. And then they announced they were counterbooking. And then so they were like, okay, well, we'll do a Tailgate Brawl from 7 to 8. That will go head to head with them. And then Tony ended up obviously moving it to the afternoon. And from what I've heard from several people that are going to the show, they're actually glad, because then they don't have to get home late. And shout out to Josiah, who is going to have I'm sure he's already on his way to the show, but he had.
Oh, good Lord, he's driving that again?
No, he's not driving. There was a whole, I don't want to go and talk.
No, of course. No, that's okay.
But basically he's having to take a bus. He left, I think he said his bus was leaving at 8 a.m. this morning. He should get there right when the Tailgate Brawl is starting. And then he has so after the show's over, then he has a 5-hour wait at the bus station. I believe is what he said.
He's I think when we saw him at Forbidden Door, because he's like the one fight game person I've gotten to meet in person, because we met at Forbidden Door in Toronto. And but it was him and friends. I think they kind of did it together on that trip. And so it was really cool because he's from the same part of he's from the part of Canada that I'm from, the country. So he's from the east coast of Canada, and I'm from the northeast.
Yeah, so it's a long day for him. So I was like, well, thank goodness the show is no longer ending at it's not going to end at midnight. And he was thankfully, because so he was very excited. I talked to another person who was going. He was glad that it was early, because he's like, the traffic's not going to be so bad late at night. He was like, I'm glad it's earlier in the day. And I was not on the media call this week. I had an appointment that was made 6 months ago that I had to go to. And so it started, my appointment was 15 minutes after the media call started. So, but I know that he was asked about moving it up, and he said that he was just saying that they thought it was going to be better for everybody. And just because All In had done so well earlier in the day, Forbidden Door was obviously early for the UK side of things, or for us, or I guess for us, because of the UK side of things, I should say. And so I guess he thought, it seemed to do well. I don't know if they're going to keep doing earlier shows. I do have a friend who lives in Hawaii who would like them to not eat breakfast while he's watching wrestling. So we'll see if this is something that continues moving forward. But so
I don't mind. Because I lived on the West Coast of America for an incredibly long time, I became accustomed to Pacific time. I like when the Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football's over, when it's starting here on the East Coast.
It's harder for me, and which I know it's a first world problem. It's harder for me because when we have if it's the podcast and then I have to help with coverage, then my day gets crammed, which my day is already crammed once again. And so it's a lot. I mean, granted, it'll be over in the evening, which is nice, but it's still, like I said, first world. I don't have that much of a gap between like having to write, doing the podcast and having to write. So for me,
and that's why we
ideal.
But want to make sure we get you fed today. That's the most right. Fed is Sam hydrated and fed because she's got a lot going on.
Yes, it'll be a busy day, but it'll be a fun day. And like I said, it'll probably be over by, I'm guessing, like maybe before 9 o'clock. So we'll see.
But just to kick it, you get to kick it with a cup of tea later or something.
Also, real quick, Nikki is watching. She's pet sitting at our cousin's house, which is part of the reason we're going early because I once this is over, I'll be going over to watch with her and work from my cousin's house. So she's watching on YouTube TV. So it's like on the TV itself. So she is not able to be in the chat. So she sent me a text and wanted me to tell everybody that she said hello. And she may interject with some text messages about some things that she would say in the chat. But I just wanted to shout her out real quick.
That's awesome. We've got breaking Nikki and Nikki's
right,
hot takes.
We do. Yeah, she already told me.
Sam bringing us Nikki's hot takes this week, folks. That's important stuff. Perfect. I love it. All right, do you want to get the pictures on in here?
Yeah, let's get them up there.
Get them in here, friend. Here, wait, let's put this away and move that up there. And I think it was hard to get a read on this card, so I made a list and we're just going in the order that our list
we
is.
know for sure and we'll get to it. We know for sure what match is opening All Out because Tony said it on the media call, so we know for sure what the opening match is of the main card. With this, there's and then everything else is in no particular order.
Yeah, wait, I couldn't find. My last Daily DDT actually had a really good breakdown of at least what was on the card, and I was like, thank you guys, this is coherent. Thank you.
Yes. All right, so Tailgate Brawl, this was actually the first match that was announced for it. We've been seeing the various iterations of this match, which I don't mind. Apparently, some people are mad about it, but I'm not mad about it.
Oh, I know. You know what?
We just keep seeing this. We're just seeing different iterations of this match. Yes, but we're telling stories. We're getting tag team divisions figured out. We're figuring out who works well with each other. Hopefully, I mean, knock on wood at this point, we don't know if we're going to get a blood and guts because, that ceiling's right there. And it's really hard for them to break through for some reason because of a certain person who's in charge of booking this company. But this could hopefully could end in a blood and guts. Maybe this would probably be, if there's probably would be a 5-on-5. These would be 8 of your 10 participants right here. So I don't, and they're building off kind of side feuds with things because you've got Aminata and Tekla. You have obviously the Willow and Chris stuff. So there's all these moving parts. So I don't mind it as much as some people seem to mind it. But people like to complain on the internet.
You know what? That's so interesting to me because there's a whole other argument to be made. This is exactly how the Japanese fed out their younger talent or help people. What is the undercard of every New Japan show you've ever seen is a bunch of big time big scrum matches. Either they're exhibitions for the main matches that are the singles matches where the guys square off a little bit and have a little, get a little touch on each other because they're going to be in a big singles match. Yeah. Or to develop the young guys and the young lions and or the people that are somewhere in the mid card that need a character or need a tag team.
The Road 2 shows in New Japan are filled with these types of
this.
Matches. Yeah.
And there's a reason that, I hate to be like that, but it gets a little daunting during Dream 1 season because you don't want to skip those matches, but sometimes you have to. But this right here is exactly how you get things going. So okay. But,
I mean, obviously, I think most of us would make the argument that this is a main card match, that it should be on the main card. I would make that argument. But as Deanna said when I interviewed her, the pre-show is part of the show date. It's prepping the crowd for what's to come. And so they see it as equally as being on the main card, and they have to get the crowd involved, and they have to entertain them and get them going before the main card. So, I mean, there's that perspective too, at least from the talent's point of view, or maybe just Deanna's point of view. But from what she says, this is what they are happy to be part of the pre-show, because they still get to go out there and do what they do. And so this match, I think, will be a really good one. It'll be fun. They do kind of, Laurent asks about what happened to Anna and Ty. They seem to swap these out with Willow and Aminata. I mean, he doesn't really seem to have any rhyme or reasons. Like, sometimes and I think that's part of it, to change it up, because so many people complain about this type of match happening, that they try to interject, they try to swap out women. And I think it's also testing out their chemistry. Like we've said, if they are eventually going to have a tag team division, you find out, obviously I would assume Ty J would be, that's a natural tag team. So you kind of get them in there, see how they feel with different women. Then you plug in some other women and kind of get it going and see, because if they're going to do a division, like, they can't half-ass it. They have to have teams. You've got to have storylines already, because once they do crown champions, like we've talked about, you've got to have contenders. You can't just have two tag teams. We see what happens in the other company when it comes to tag teams. And even, I mean, we've talked about the men's tag team in AEW for a really long time and how it was crap, and they're finally rebuilding it. And so I would like them to have before they introduce tag titles, I would like them to build a foundation and for their women's division before they even introduce the title. So if this is how we're getting there, then I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is how you get a tag team division.
Right.
Is these kind of matches.
Right, exactly.
And I've enjoyed all of these, like, multi-women matches that they've been having lately. They've been a lot of fun. The women have been making the most of their time on the time. So, I mean, it just feels good. I like it. I'm happy.
Right. Hello, John. Good morning.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. It's early.
Yes, it's very early for him. Crash says, is the tag tornado the opener? It probably should be. For the main card? No, it's something else, but we'll get to it shortly, and I'll tell you what the main. I mean, I guess it's not a big secret because it was in the media call.
Hopefully I put it in the right order.
I think you did when I scanned over the thing. Well, picture-wise, maybe not, but I think
we'll see. It's okay. I can flip through the pictures easier than...
We'll get you there. So what do you think? Who do you think takes this one? Do you think Team Babyface or Team Hill takes this one?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to pick Team Babyface for this one.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards Team Hill, but they've been picking up some ones, especially Megan, lately. I think I'm going to go, because it's pay-per-view, I think I'm going to go with Team Babyface here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Team Babyface gets a win, and then we get some stuff going back around. And
yes.
Yeah, they really have.
Also, let me get to Crash's comment real quick before I forget. He says, where's Nikki? Has she officially media merged with the Panda cult since last weekend? Must have been a valuable retainer offer. That's her cover. Her cover is that she's pet sitting for our cousin, but really. Actually, so I forgot I was going to give you guys an update. So Panda Fest we went in with lower expectations, which I think helped, also going at the last time slot on the last day. And the fact that they weren't selling tickets at the door, I think, was super helpful. So while it was busy, it was nothing. It was easy. You could still navigate. Lines were not too long. There were times where, like, the little vendors their little tents would be crowded, and so we would just come back. So it wasn't like nothing abnormal for what we were doing.
So a normal festival then? Right,
exactly. So I enjoyed the Panda Fest. For me, there was not enough pandas. Like,
wow,
I could have dealt with. There was more food vendors than merch vendors, and so they're like little stuffed pandas like throughout. And we took different pictures with various pandas. There were a couple like big. There was like an inflatable panda, and then there was like a big, like, I don't know how to explain it. It was not a stuffed panda, but it was like there were multiple photo opportunities with larger pandas, I will say. And so Nikki and I took advantage of those. We bought things. We bought Panda, we got our merch first, and then we got food. So we did try a couple of new things, and the hardest thing dealing with was trying to remember where I parked, because all the parking decks look exactly the same, and none of them are marked with like, this is the name of this parking deck. None of them are marked. So we didn't go down far. We went to the correct one, but didn't go down far enough. So we thought we missed it. And so we turned around and ended up. And so we would have left like 15 minutes earlier if we had walked a little bit further, the first one. But they all looked exactly the same, and it was very confusing. But that was like the most difficult part of all of it. Like, to get in, it took us, once we got in line, it took us 9 minutes to get in, because the day before it's taking us hours, blocks of people. Thankfully, not selling.
That sounds like a festival on a Saturday to me.
Yeah, it was great, and I would go again. Because Eventbrite lets you give ratings, and we did that. So yes.
Oh, right on. That's awesome. That helps.
Yeah, so if you go to a Panda Fest or something like that, just go in with expectations that it's the festival. Yes, you have to pay to get in. Yes, they probably do overcharge, because that's what they do. Would I say it's a scam?
They absolutely do.
No, not really. I mean, is it a money grab? Sure, probably. But like, if you go into it with certain expectations, that like for us, the pandas were the appeal to us. Like buying panda, like that's why we were going. We weren't as concerned with the food part of it, which some people were. And that's not to say that there wasn't expensive merch, because there was, but like, that's going to be anywhere. So if Panda Fest comes your way, I recommend going.
Every fair, everywhere. Take it from a professional already. I'm going tomorrow. I know exactly what.
You know.
You guys have seen the pictures, and if you're new, go check out the pictures.
Crush, if Takahashi was in town, he would have dressed in a panda outfit with a giant panda paper mache head. Missed opportunity, if you ask me, at Haramu. That would have made my entire day.
Oh my God.
Because clearly, as you learned last week, I do love pandas. I love Haramu. That would have made my entire day.
That's crazy. I just thought I'm like, that would be the perfect Panda Fest for you.
It would be. So somebody book Haramu. Panda Fest
next time.
Yes, whoever books Panda Fest. Next year,
needs to get these people together, because independent wrestling fans usually like festivals, and festival goers can find a lot of similarities in independent wrestling. So
exactly. So that has been the Panda Corner of this show.
Well, I mean, you promised you would report back.
So. I did promise an update, and I had forgotten until Crash asked. So thank you, Crash, for reminding me, because I had forgotten that I had promised updates.
Welcome. All right, let's get a picture in here. You want to get another? Let's get picture.
Get one.
Let's get a different picture.
All right.
Let's go to this picture.
Yay!
Wait. I'm sorry. Tony finally did something for you, I think.
He did. I was on. So Wednesday, obviously, the last hour was Collision. So I was on live coverage. I took over and did the last hour. And we were on the main event. And our text went off, and Nikki looked without thinking and was like, I wish I hadn't seen that. And she was like, but luckily I was focused on what was happening, so I didn't see what happened. And then the graphic popped up, and I couldn't focus on the match anymore. I was like, oh my God. I was like, Work Horseman, because I saw James Drake pop up before I saw anything else. So I was oh my God. I was like, Work Horsemen are on the pre-show. I'm so excited. Yes, I know it's the pre-show, but they're still on it. I was like, they're getting paid. They get to be. And then I was like, and they're wrestling Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs. Like, do you know how much meat is in this match?
It's a lot.
There's so much potential for meaty men slapping meat in this match.
This is like amazing. This is going to be so much fun.
I cannot wait for this match, which is why I was like, I can't miss the pre-show. Like, thankfully, I'm not covering it. I won't be on coverage until 3, so I was until the main card. But I was like, I can't wait to watch Workhorsemen. on the pre-show. And I mean, of course, I love Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs, so this match is for me. So I am super, super excited. And I get the argument that the trios should not be split up. You know, there's a tag team match, and we'll get to the third member of this trios has the other match, which whatever, I get it. But on the other hand, I get your argument, I hear you. But for me personally, I don't care. I'm just excited that I'm getting this match on a pay-per-view card, even if it's the pre-show. I'm so excited for this match.
I'm happy.
I'm also excited because nothing against Adam Priest and Tommy Billington, but I was like, this started out with Adam Priest and James Drake JD Drake because Anthony Henry was on vacation, and then Adam Priest was like, and then he did so well and was so impressive that they're like, well, we're gonna run Adam Priest and Tommy Billington again, and I was like, okay, but what happened to the Workhorsemen? And Tony said, here you go. And so
here they are.
So I will accept this peace offering for this match. Even though, I guess if we have to pick who we think is going to win, I am the winner here, truly. And Nikki. And
I think we all are. I mean, I'm definitely in on that.
I think we all are. Yes,
Brian
Zillum.
There's no losers here.
No, not at all. But if we have to pick an actual winner, then obviously the two that have the titles are gonna. But hopefully this means this will lead to more TV time for the Workhorsemen.
Yeah. Here's hoping forward. Because that would be fantastic and awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And I think we both agree that the title holders are going to remain the title holders, but
yes.
Good match.
Oh, we missed the match. Hold on, wait. Let me go back. We missed the match. There we go. That's the match.
Okay, so my bad. Here, sorry. I double clicked. Okay. My bad. Here we go.
There we go. So the other Ops member who is not a trios match is in a singles match. Again, I get the complaint that the trios title should be defended. I hear you. But also, I am not going to complain about the two matches we're getting because Garcia Shibata 3, obviously the first two have been great. Now we have Daniel Garcia who has joined the Death Riders. So we're trying he's a Red Death Rider now. And then Shibata, like,
well, yeah, I mean,
what more can you say about that guy? So this match will be if you think that last one's going to be hard hitting, this one.
Oh, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
These matches can only benefit Daniel Garcia, like in terms of like leveling him up.
Right.
Regardless.
Yes, so I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this other than for me, I think it's going to be awesome. I'm going to love it. But the thing is, so do you have Shibata, who is 1/3 of the trio champions? Do you have him lose to Daniel Garcia, who just joined? Can Daniel Garcia afford to take a loss here when he just joined the Death Riders? Or is it kind of a young lion type of thing, which clearly Daniel Garcia is not a young lion, but in the Death Riders, he's the new guy. Can he afford to take losses here? Because obviously beating Shibata is huge no matter what.
Well, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes him with the Death Riders, which I feel like that's sort of the way I'm leaning. I don't know. It just feels like it almost feels like it has to be Garcia on this one.
Yeah. So when Crash says the same thing that Garcia has to go over here.
Just because it proves him like proving himself to the Death Riders by defeating. Right. I mean, that's Shibata.
And also, I mean, you can't rule out interference.
Of course, because it's the
especially
Death Riders.
From young Wheeler Yuta.
Oh, of course.
I mean, granted, he has I believe isn't Yuta? You just got a match, right? Is he on the card? I can't remember.
I don't know. I can't remember right now.
I mean, I'm sure he'll try. He keeps trying to come out there and Christmas matches, so I'm sure he'll be hanging out regardless.
I think he has a match, but
then also we've seen Marina help Daniel as well, so Marina could be out there with him. Mox might send her out there. So
fair enough.
I'm gonna go with it's hard because Shibata's the champion, even though this has nothing to do with it. Obviously, it's not a title match. But on the other hand, but also the trios titles were with the Death Riders for a little bit. So, they've got that, part too. But I think I'm going to go with Garcia here because I think that he needs the win and he's not going to win clean.
No, I think that you're right. I think it's Garcia. I don't think it's clean because the Death Riders get involved too much. But I think this is definitely got to be a Garcia win here, in my opinion, too. So I go with that one, too. I mean, I don't feel like that's like some bold prediction, I guess.
Right. Someone asked which time starting All Out. All Out starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Don't know what time zone that would be for you, but it will be 3 p.m. Eastern time.
All right. Let's see. What do we have next on my list here? Look.
There we go. So this is
we're back on track.
We're back on track. This is the opening match for All Out. Tony Khan announced it during the media call that this match will open the show. This will be obviously Coffin Cage at CNC, as they're now being called. CNC will be their first time tagging in Toronto, and I don't know how many years. It's a really long time. I know that much. It will be, and not just in general, a long time, but even longer since they have tagged in Toronto.
Right.
They will be facing FTR. Soak is there, and so. So that's what's happening here. This is obviously, there's no titles on the line here, which we weren't sure, leading into this before the tag team tournament ended, if titles would be involved. Thankfully, they're not, which you don't need titles here for the story that they're telling. And so I think this is a pretty obvious answer of who wins this match. And also Dax is coming in with a broken nose. Christian accidentally, we went back and watched it to see where he broke his nose, because you can see there, obviously there was like a little bit of a melee, and they cut to Dax and he's just gushing blood.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Huge. You see Stoke turn and look at him and was like, his nose is broken. Like he kind of did like a double take, and I believe that Cash did the same thing. So we went back and looked at it. It was Christian when he didn't, well, maybe he meant to, but I don't think he did. He popped him in the face with the microphone, and I think it hit him just right. And that's where he busted it. So Christian busted it when he with the microphone is where the broken nose happened. So he did confirm the nose is broken. He is not missing. He's not missing the show.
Of course not.
So, yeah. Of course not. So obviously Coffin Christian win.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's dumb. Like, this is silly. Yeah, I can't. I mean, yeah. What Sam said.
You want to send the fans home happy, so
I don't know.
Piss them off in the first match.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I don't know where all of this is happening, and it's been like unclear if this is happening. So just toss it in here.
This match is on the card. It's official for the show.
Okay, good.
Yes, they made it official on Collision on Wednesday. So this is basically Battle for the King of New York in Toronto. And we've talked about this before. I don't like the build for this at all. Nothing against Big Bill. I have no issue with Eddie Kingston and Big Bill having a match if it was like 6 matches from now and like they just needed Eddie to wrestle somebody. And I don't think this is the way you bring Eddie Kingston back. He's been gone.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, it was weird.
He's been gone for 16 months, and this is how you bring him back.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the match per se. It's like they just pick someone at random. And I know that they have some beef, but it's
right. And they've got and you've got the beef with them being they're both from New York, and then obviously Big Bill did the thing that did the kind of the where he came from, because he is a former WWE wrestler, and so he kind of hit some of the WWE notes, and of, you're fat and sloppy and I can beat you up, I can beat your ass type of thing, which, I mean, you're going to talk shit to your opponent, but of course they went to the most obvious things, but and then for Eddie to wrestle, because Eddie does not use Twitter after he famously quit Twitter when people were being racist to Riho, and it pissed him off that much that he stopped using the app. So he uses Instagram a lot, and if you watch it, he's almost always posting in his Insta stories, and he uses Threads. So he responded on Threads and said, "The money is right. Give me the location." Big Bill responds and says, "The location is Toronto at All Out." And that's how we got our match, which
here we are.
Such a lackluster way to bring back somebody of Eddie Kingston's caliber.
We are getting Eddie Kingston back.
Right, which overshadows all of it, but and the match will be good. Like I said, I enjoy Big Bill. I like him. I don't have a problem with him wrestling Eddie Kingston. This is not where I would have done it. If it was a random collision in 6 weeks, fine. I would have had no issue with it. But to bring him back to TV this way after 16 months is ridiculous. So Eddie deserves better than that. But you can't, Eddie can't lose this return match. I mean, Big Bill can't really afford to lose this match either, because you're trying to break him from the Jericho stuff. And then Nikki brought up the point last week, if this is King of New York, are they trying to bring Chris Jericho back here? Because he's obviously from New York. I'm hoping no, but nothing would surprise me at this point. And also, while we're speaking of Big Bill, Brian Keith won the Defy Championship last night. He answered Clark Connor's open challenge and he beat him for the title. So he is now the Defy champion. So shout out to Brian Keith for getting. Yeah, so very excited for him. But I can't vote against or bet against Eddie. I think Eddie has to.
Oh no, I think Eddie wins this match. He kind of I mean, I know that they're trying to build, but they can't. In this particular case, they can't have Eddie lose here.
Right. No.
He just can't. I agree with Fernando 100%. He just can't. Not after this long. And he's so popular. Like, that place is gonna. I know that we've got Cope and Christian happening.
Yeah.
But Eddie Kingston's music hits, and that place is gonna go nuclear. Right. I mean, it's
right.
We all know it. We're all feeling it.
Yeah. And Lauren says it's hilarious that the match was such a poor build makes the main card, but the women's tag matches they've been building for months doesn't. It's not surprising, because of the way they tend to book the women, but also Tony flat out said they put Eddie on they put him on the card basically for buzz, and they wanted him back on a pay-per-view, which we've kind of, before we knew this match was happening, Mel and I had been predicting that he would return at All Out, but I didn't think it was going to be in a match. We thought it was going to be just him maybe coming to get some revenge on the Death Riders and busting up a match or something, not he was having a match with Big Bill.
Yeah. It's a way to do it, I guess. Yeah. And maybe there's something that we don't know.
I mean, and I'm sure the match is going to deliver, and maybe
the match will be fine.
Because Eddie has been gone for so long, they did put him in some giant match, but then if that's the case, then you just you just have him randomly return. You don't have him have a return match. But I get it. I'm sure Eddie moves tickets. So Jermaine says, with Eddie on the card, does he get involved with Mox versus Darby? That's where I would have had him return. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have put him in a match with Big Bill. I would have had him return for Mox, because I've been shouting for well over a year that Eddie Kingston is going to get involved with the Death Riders, because Mox is he considers one of his few friends in this business, and he's been teaming with his arch nemesis for over a year. Said he's his number one guy and he would die for him. So it would make sense for Eddie to come back and do something like that, but apparently that's not what we're doing here. I mean, sure, he could still get involved depending on how early his match is, but Yeah, I really hope this is not setting up a return for Chris Jericho, especially because this is Eddie's return match. I don't want to see Jericho anywhere near his return match. I'm not a fan of that. But would I be surprised? Not in the least.
I hope that's not what happens, but yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't think about that, and I guess I should have.
Yeah, Nikki was the one who brought it up to me last week, and I was like, probably right.
I mean, yeah.
Would not surprise me. I hope it doesn't happen, but
but yeah, I mean, I think we're both in agreement on Eddie here, but yeah, I didn't even think of that.
I'm just glad to come back, even if it means Jericho comes back too.
Yeah. Welcome back, Eddie. All that really matters in my world.
Right, exactly.
That's in my personal opinion.
Sure. All right, so we have a trios match for not trios titles. We have the Hurt Syndicate with MVP. He's gonna wrestle in this match unless there's some bait and switch and we debut a new member or something. MVP is scheduled. He's in this graphic as if he is wrestling. Would I be surprised?
He may do a spot or two, but he's not gonna be.
Yeah, he'll get a few. He's probably not taking many bumps, but
that guy ain't
he'll be in there.
Are you kidding me?
He'll be in there with his cane that got broken the other night. I guess he'll have a new one. And they are taking on Ricochet and GOA. I was really happy to see Toa Leona get a singles match on Wednesday because I think Toa is underrated, and he cut a really good promo on social media, and I was like, wow, Toa can also cut promos. And he was just talking about how he started from AEW Dark and made his way to a pay-per-view, which is huge. And and Toa is somebody that we watched on Dark all the time. And Khan was there, and then obviously they
were great. I really enjoyed watching them then.
Yeah, and they paired them up in ROH, and I already a fan of Khan. I was already a fan of GOA just from watching them a lot in ROH. I thought they were really great. And then Khan is also, he wrestles at Ashe on a regular basis. He's now the Pan-African World Diaspora champion. And I got to see, and he beat honorary broad Shug D for that title. So I'm excited for them. I am more of a fan of GOA than I am Ricochet, but I'm glad. I do like them together. I do like what they're doing with them. But like Toa was getting booed like crazy just because he was on the opposite side of the Hurt Syndicate, and they were wanting to get in their chants and stuff like that. So I think this will be I think it'll be a fun match. I do think Hurt Syndicate wins because it's hard to bet against them, especially because they're such fan favorites that it's hard to
and they're not prone to doing jobs.
Well, that allegedly. So
yeah, allegedly.
Yes. Crashes Toa Leona versus Bobby was fire.
Yeah.
He also says MVP beatdown of Ricochet was also fire. Yeah, that was really good. Ricochet played his part very well there.
Ricochet's getting a lot.
The one. Well, I like that theory, Jermaine. He says that he can see MVP being the one to get the pin and cost the Hurt Business the match by getting the pin by Ricochet. That's if you can get MVP to agree to laying down for 3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
I mean, if it's best for business and it's then perhaps he's more likely, depending on who that opponent is, but I don't know that MVP is gonna be letting his shoulders touch the mat for 3 seconds.
That'd be a great way to switch things up. But yeah,
it would be huge for Ricochet and GOA to win this match. Perhaps MVP is in this match to take the pin. Maybe that's why he's in it. Maybe that's what we're doing here. I'm not holding my breath for that to happen.
I mean, I would love for that to be. I mean, that possibility exists. And I'd love to be wrong, but I don't think so because of MVP.
Yeah,
being MVP. That's all I'm gonna say about that. It's pretty. I mean, The Hurt Syndicate is over. They're very popular. I've been in a room when people are like, so I'm just, it's great to see Gates of Agony in here on the pay-per-view card.
That's what I'm most excited about. I'm just happy for them. Oh, Maria says Keith Lee should join the Hurt Syndicate. I've heard, excuse me, people saying that as well. According to what Keith says, he's cleared. Just sounds like the opportunity hasn't presented itself. He's very diplomatic in the way that he answers people's questions.
Yeah,
but it sounds like he's healthy and he's doing well. And if it makes sense for Keith Lee, and that's what Keith Lee would like to do, then I am all for it.
Oh, Keith Lee fan, always and forever. Happy he's healthy.
Yes, and that he's still with us, because let's not forget that Keith Lee nearly died. So thankfully, I'm so grateful for he's here, and if that means he can't be in a wrestling ring, then I'll take it.
I will bask in his glory for always, in or out of the ring. I am fine. I am happy. I would love to see that guy. That would warm my heart. But I'm just whatever makes Keith Lee happy. We've always talked about that. And that's what's next.
Okay. So I am gonna, if you have not seen the CMLL 92 anniversary show.
Oh yeah, I saw you tweet about it.
I'm about to spoil something for you. So if you don't want to know, I was gonna say, you know what, but it's gonna it'll probably get spoiled on the pay-per-view for you today. So MJF has been feuding with Mystico. They had an incredible match at Grand Slam Mexico. And then last night was their rematch in a title versus mask match, because MJF refused to do a hair versus mask match for obvious reasons.
Because he's MJF.
Because he has new hair. So he was not about that. They ended up doing, I had the show, I watched the whole show and was doing some other things as well, but I did have it on and would look up and I probably should have watched more in depth than I did, but so right before this match, they did a hair versus hair match. And then right after this match, the MJF versus Mystico should have closed the show. But I understand why they didn't, because they did a mask versus mask match, and obviously that means somebody was unmasked. It was an older gentleman in his 50s. It was Valente was the one who was unmasked. So I get why they closed with that, because obviously that's a huge thing. And considering that Mystico and MJF was mask versus title, then that kind of would have given it away if they did the mask versus mask match prior to it. So I guess that's probably why the reason they did it the way that they did. Mystico was bleeding within 3 minutes, and I'm talking gushing blood. Like that, by the time this match was over, that mat reminded me of Filthy Tom versus John Moxley.
Whoa.
The way that mat, like not quite that level, but seeing that much blood is what it reminded me of. Like his mask was, so because MJF being MJF tried to get the mask off immediately, like as soon as the bell rang,
right,
and was ripping it. He hit him, cut him, and so Mystico, because first when he came out, I was like, oh, he's wearing all white, probably because he's gonna bleed, and I was like, well, Mystico often wears all white, so maybe not. Nope. Within less than 5 minutes into the match, this man is gushing blood. Like it was insane. Like you could see.
He wears the white so it shows up more, not because.
Yeah, I mean, Mystico often wears white anyway, like a white mask and white pants. That's often what he wears. So it's like, well, it could go either way here. But if you have the opportunity to watch this match, even by knowing that MJF lost this match, go watch it. It was incredible. Right. One of MJF's best matches. Mystico was incredible. I loved the first one. This I thought was excellent. Loved this match. So MJF did try to cheat with the Dynamite Diamond ring, but while the ref was turned, Mystico low blowed him, but it didn't work. The match continued to go. John Cruz, who comes out with MJF in Mexico dressed like Abraham Lincoln, He ate two super kicks, sold the hell out of them. So shout out John Cruz or or Bendejo, as some of you may know him. But match was great. MJF lost the title because he had the CMLL. I think it was the light heavyweight championship, except for
he did have a
he would just call, and he came out. MJF came out dressed like Homelander.
Oh, that's awesome!
In Mexico.
That's amazing.
So MJF knows what he's doing.
That's
great.
Awesome. Okay. See, he can be clever. See, that's my point.
When we've talked about
when
this,
he actually puts some thought into it, he does such a good. See, that is what you're capable of. Okay, live up to your potential.
MJF, when he cares, you can see it, and he will. Which is why, like we've talked about it, he asked for this feud with Mark Briscoe. That's why this feud is happening. So MJF, when he cares, MJF is very good at what he does. When he doesn't care, it's obvious.
Oh yeah,
match was incredible, and Crash said pools of Mystico's blood was pooling over the ring mat, pretty gruesome. But the crowd was so wild, very entertaining. Yet that crowd was losing their mind.
I love those crowds; they're amazing. I'm gonna have to check that out. Of course,
when Mystico finally won the title, crowd was so. That's why I was like, send the crowd home. Like, why are we doing a mask versus mask match? Like, send the people home. But they apparently were into the mask versus mask match as well. Crush says the MJ package pile driver on Mystico in the ring apron looked nasty. It was. Also, I got a destroyer in this match. So
oh heck yeah. It
was great.
It was a Mexican destroyer.
Yes, it was. And then so MJF tweeted not long after losing that he was taking it out on Mark Briscoe today. So Mark Briscoe made this because he says MJF is the biggest prick he knows. He wants this to be a tables and tacks match. And he said he wants thousands of tacks. Not a gummy bear in sight.
Oh, there will not be gummy bears.
None of those.
Do not expect gummy bears, people.
No, not in this.
You might wish there were gummy. This is
right.
Is this what they call for the sickos?
Yes.
This is prime sicko territory.
For the sickos, because last year's All Out was the biggest show for the sickos, because that's where Danielson got choked out with a bag.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
So that's where an All Out it had the Chicago street fight with Stat and Willow was on that card last.
Well, and they're in Toronto. This is a different thing. They're doing a big pay-per-view in a new venue. It's like not a new venue because this is where they were for Forbidden Door, but for a different pay-per-view. So it's a different vibe.
Right.
Because that's a crossover show. That was more like a super show. This is an actual AEW pay-per-view. This is their first AEW specific, AEW only Toronto show. So they kind of have to go big on these.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to go big on a pay-per-view anyway.
Right.
But when it's when
now
you're
has
rolling
a reputation. I think All Out has a reputation that they're going to live up to now.
Yeah, I mean, they always do.
Because All In is and typically All In is not separated by Forbidden Door. It's All In, and then 2 weeks later is All Out. So you get your All In, you get your great matches, and your, we don't go.
I guess we have to be real here. All Out was the first, because All In was their pay-per-view, but it wasn't under the AEW thing. They brought it back.
Right.
When they debuted in Wembley. This is their WrestleMania in a little like this is their inaugural pay-per-view.
Right. I mean, I think technically Double or Nothing.
And I mean, it's not the
Nothing was the actual first AEW pay-per-view. However, All In is the pay-per-view, like you said, was not an AEW pay-per-view in the beginning. It was what created it. So All Out is like maybe their SummerSlam. Like All Out is certainly in like if you have a big four here too. All Out is certainly I think Double or Nothing is number one, and then All Out is probably the number two. But it's a huge pay-per-view, and you, like you said, you do kind of have to go all out here, and pun not
in the name.
You do have to kind of go out, all out here, and I think this is the match to do it. And before I even thought about, because I had forgotten that MJF was wrestling Mystico last night. I think MJF's going to go 0 for 2 this weekend. I think he's losing. I think Mark Briscoe has to win this match.
Oh, I want Mark Briscoe to win. I'm like picking with my heart on this one. I want him to win so hard. I think he'll probably win, but also I really want him to.
Yes, I really want him to, but I think for the stories that they're telling with MJF and
you're probably right.
Losing back to back, because I was talking to Larry last night, responding, he was like, well, who won? And I said Mystico, and he's like, oh, so MJF might lose twice this week. And I was like, I think so, because before I had even released, I mean, I knew they were together, but both matches were back to back. But
this is like the first time MJF, like in his whole thing, has had to face this level of adversity.
Right, and he doesn't have the title. He lost to Hangman. He can't.
He doesn't have the Hurt Syndicate.
No, he doesn't. Right, he doesn't have the Hurt.
He's all by himself now.
Right, and he's got. Can he overcome his own? Can he overcome himself to beat Mark Briscoe? And he couldn't last night with Mystico. Like Mystico, I don't know how this man is flying from Mexico. I mean, and also there's a few other people who wrestled last night, like Hechicero is also on this card, I believe. But like, and Mascara Dorada had a match, and he has a match tonight. So there's a few people who are flying from Mexico into Toronto today. And so MJF had a match, and really long, like that match was nearly 20 minutes. I think I saw it was like 18. And then he's got to get on a plane.
And he lost like 2 quarts of blood or something.
So. Right. So I think Mark Briscoe has to win here. Yes.
I mean, I like Mark Briscoe on this, but
Crash says MJF meltdown is always a plus. Solid business decision.
Oh, agree. Those are the best.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what? That's true. The heel meltdown from someone on his level is usually spectacular.
Yes. Crash says, I do think Briscoe could win here. They need to build further animus here for a multitude of storyline reasons. Yes. And then Maria says MJF still has the contract that he can take a small losing streak. Yep. Exactly.
That's a great point.
Still has that. Yes, that he can cash in. And then Crash says, ain't got time to bleed. Right. He's MJF, and it was so funny because MJF you would see him with blood, but it wasn't his. MJF didn't bleed at all last night. That was all Mystico's blood.
Oh, okay, so there you go. He can bleed today. Then
he's gonna bleed today with.
He saved all. He made somebody else bleed yesterday, so he could bleed today.
Right. Exactly.
Got it. Yes. I'm excited for this match. I think this is gonna be awesome because once again, and I love reminding people of this. MJF can wrestle.
Yes, and like we said, when he cares.
Yep. He's the best. I mean, that's what I love it. That's why I do like. It's like I don't hate you. Just do the stuff you do awesome.
And quit with the cheap lazy.
Yeah, you don't need the cheap heat, man. You're so awesome. All right.
Exactly. All right. So here we have the Coffin match between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. Darby asked for this match. He wanted it to be a coffin match. This man passed bodies on Mount Everest and was like, you know what? Let's do a coffin match.
Hasn't he done this before?
Yeah. I mean, they've done, this won't be the first coffin match. And, they did
he's done this to himself once or twice before.
Right. He has. This is the first time post climbing up Mount Everest.
But, I mean, you need to, if you make it up Everest and back again, then you certainly have to cap it off, especially this time of year. I mean, we are getting into spooky season. It's midway through September. They've rolled out the pumpkin spice. I can officially roll out my Halloween, my favorite time of year attitude. So maybe they're just doing this because they are in Halloween season with me. I mean, he's like, I'm back. I need a post Everest coffin match with a brutal maniac. I mean, it's not like Jon Moxley isn't going to deliver. Jon might put him in that coffin forever. Which if
anybody can beat Darby Allin in a coffin match, it's Jon Moxley.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he certainly
might beat him with the coffin. I'm not sure that's how to win.
True. Right.
It's like, no, John, you're supposed to put him in the coffin. He's like, no, I'm beating him with it. No.
He could. I mean, that's on brand for Jon Moxley. Maybe he hates Halloween and is gonna beat him with a coffin. Maybe
he hates coffins.
I mean, yeah, there's that too.
I mean, he says Death Riders, but maybe like he's like, hey, that's my gimmick, dude. Like, I'm gonna beat you with it.
Correct.
So, no, I don't know.
Coffin blood, maybe.
I mean, I like the image of him with the body bag that says Mox on it. That kind of stuff always makes me.
Yeah,
you know, I'm a horror movie fan. What can I say?
I expect some because this isn't nobody's band, right? I think Death Riders can get involved here, or is this a band?
Or no, wait, did they no, this isn't the step one. The step one is later.
No, that's later on. So Death Riders. Even I do see obviously Death Riders are going to get involved here. I mean, it's what they do. I want Jon Moxley to win this match. However, because he threw Darby down a flight of stairs and thought he killed him, and just because of obviously the story they've been telling, I don't see how you have Darby Allin lose a Coffin match.
Not at this juncture. Not with his.
That's like Hangman losing a Texas Death Match.
Yeah. Especially right now with him just coming back and getting reestablished and being so popular, and the Death Rider storyline doing whatever it's. I mean, I'm not as annoyed with them as usual.
No,
because I feel like they are dialing it back.
I like what they're doing more. I mean, I wasn't as down on them as others were during Jon Moxley's reign.
No, some of it felt played out.
Better. It's gotten much better since he's dropped the title.
Yeah, because it makes more sense. Someone mentioned the other day that Marina still was wearing a key around her neck, and I saw on Twitter or on social somewhere, and someone else was like, that's the key to the cage they keep Yuta in.
Probably.
And I was like, that's scarily accurate, and I wouldn't be surprised if Marina just made something like that up. Like her and Roddy facing off this week was probably my favorite thing of the week.
Yes.
Just absolutely, because she's great. I love her. I want to see her wrestling more.
She is the Defy Women's Champion, and I saw her cut a promo last night, which thankfully was a million times better than the one she cut. We and I, unfortunately, Mel and I covered that promo that she cut, and it was awful. And it's clearly they just threw her to the wolves. But her promo, especially because she has a character, she knows who she is. She is the problem, and she said last night, I don't want to be the problem. I want to be solved. I want some bitch to come beat my ass. Nice. She's like, why are people afraid to come to Defy to fight me? And so somebody tagged Mercedes and said, do you see what's on her arm? Because she was holding the title. And I was like, so Mercedes, I'm sure, responded with the eyes.
That's a really good idea for that. Be great for Defy, and she's still trying to do this belt collector thing. She wants to be Ultimo's.
Well, after Charity King won the Ashe Women's Championship, Nyla Rose tagged Mercedes in it. So because Mercedes, Nyla has the title for Pro Wrestling Eve, and she's trying to get Mercedes to not remember that she has a title. So she's directing her to other women with titles so that she doesn't come for Nyla.
Oh my gosh. I love this. I love that this is creating a thing where Mercedes goes around to independent wrestling companies.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
I don't know why people are down on that.
If that leads to Mercedes coming to Ashe, I'm sure tickets will be super
that puts
expensive.
butts in seats,
but
and it makes people aware.
If I get Mercedes versus Charity King and Ashe, I will take it.
Oh my god, I'd be so happy for you. I would be happy for everything. For Ashe, for you guys.
Apparently they told Nyla to pull up too, so maybe we'll get Nyla in, and maybe I can interview her again. It's been
because your state isn't.
I interviewed her 5 years ago, so I would love to interview her now. Maybe she'll because she has a Pro Wrestling Eve title, which obviously they're in the UK, so now she talks with a British accent when she has the title. She keeps cutting promos, and she was wearing an outfit the other day that was like blue leggings with a Union Jack top. she was like
on socials, right? She is still on social media.
Yeah,
she's like
that's
dropped off all my. She's dropped off my timelines. I need to get her back in.
She's on Blue Sky as well.
Okay.
And so, but so she's posting on both places, and she's hilarious with this. I mean, obviously already hilarious,
but like she fell off my timeline entirely.
She's more hilarious with now that she's got a British title, and she was talking about like All Out weekend because that's when Forbidden Door weekend, that's when she won it, and she was talking about how she was getting kicked out of her flat, which was her hotel room. And like it was just she's just really taking it up another level with this title. And I more Nyla Rose, please. I can't. We talked about her last week, but more Nyla Rose, please. And before we move on to the next,
she's always one of the people who has done social media right. That's why I always liked following her on there. She's just hysterical. She's so funny. She's gotten aggregated out by the other bananas BS that goes on my timeline. Yes, I guess. And then she also just her ongoing feud with Serpentico, like that. Never gets old. Oh, that's true. Old. Yeah, especially because she talks about John Cruz, and she was talking about him yesterday because they showed the promo of him dressed as Abraham Lincoln on ROH, and she was talking about how great John Cruz is. It's great. So Nikki said, Nikki wants to weigh in on the Darby match. She said, this one is kind of hard. Darby already won a Coffin match, so is he just always going to win? I want Mox to win too, but I wouldn't be surprised if Darby wins just based on how the story has gone. It feels like it's going to be Darby. I think I agree with Nikki on that one. Yeah, especially with it being he's back. It doesn't hurt Moxley to lose a Coffin match to Darby. No. Moxley could lose to anybody. It's not a problem. Yeah, it's not going to hurt him. As said, can't we just have one-on-one wrestling matches? If you mean involving the Death Riders, we are later on. We'll get to that one. We'll have that one. We'll be one-on-one. Because Crash had said earlier that Danny should beat the hell out of Shibata because it would get him a lot of heat. And so he's saying that if Danny beats Shibata, Danny versus Darby could be a good build, especially if he kills Shibata earlier in the show. Jermaine says, do we see Willow get involved in this match? I mean, her match is on the pre-show. I would say no. Guess it depends on what Marina's doing. If Marina is close to putting Darby in a casket, even though John Moxley, I guess, has to be the one to actually do it. But like if she's like getting super involved, perhaps we do see Willow here because Marina has to be stopped somehow. Yeah. Willow seems to be the only one. And Fernando says, Darby wins and Moxley's off TV for a little while. I don't know. That man likes to be on TV. And the storyline is going really, like what they're doing with this is going really well. I don't know that they could have John Moxley off TV with what they've been doing. But also, the man's never going to get a vacation. So if they give him a couple of weeks off, I wouldn't be like he deserves it. Fernando said, do you think Eddie Kingston goes to New Japan and attacks Gabe Kidd? Maybe not early. And I have not been keeping up with New Japan as closely lately. I know Gabe Kidd is back in Japan and he is feuding with... Who is he feuding with? I saw something about it the other day and I can't remember. So it seems like Gabe's kind of focused on New Japan and what he's doing there. Clearly you have to... Eddie's the reason Gabe Kidd is the reason Eddie was out for so long. So you have to revisit that. Do they do it close enough? It happen in a New Japan ring? Well, technically, yeah, because it happened at a Strong event. So do they do something at Wrestle Kingdom? Was King of Pro Wrestling happened already, or is that coming up?
I want to say it's coming up. I don't think it's happened yet, but again,
isn't that the last chance before Wrestle Kingdom show?
I believe so. I believe that's correct. So
it's Tsuji. Crash does it Tsuji, so
perhaps I thought it was Tsuji, but then I was like, am I wrong?
Thank you, Crash.
Thank you, Crash, because I was like, I knew I saw something.
Okay, so that's
it is Shingo. It is Shingo because Shingo was talking about that little doll. Because Gabe Kidd, you know how they have the little.
Gabe Kidd has bigger problems than Eddie Kingston.
You know that those little dolls that they make for the wrestlers. Gabe Kidd has one, and it looks the head on it looks like the. It makes it. He's clearly supposed to be bald, but I guess they put like skin color. Like it's supposed to be. I guess it's supposed to be hair, but he's like. It's where it looks like it's supposed to be hair, but he's clearly bald. Like it's very weird looking. And Shingo was making fun of it on Twitter. I saw it this morning or last night. So, I
think he'll forgive you, Crash.
You could have. Maybe that's why Eddie's starting off with Big Bill. Maybe he's gonna leave and go to King of Pro Wrestling, and he's gonna attack Gabe Kidd and set up a Wrestle Kingdom match. But I don't know. Maybe they just wait and run that match back at one of the New Japan shows, one of those strong shows here, because that's where he was.
Well, Wrestle Dynasty comes around, right?
Shows. I guess they haven't announced it, but I know they're also being careful with what they announce because of reasons.
Reasons, of course. All right, next one. Let's do the next one.
Hang on one second. Crash says Shingo has been winding Kid up about being in AEW recently. They're feuding over IWGP's Global Heavyweight Championship. Okay. So thank you, Crash. I said, I've not been keeping up with New Japan as closely lately. So that is good to know. Nikki said about John Moxley, Tony Khan loves to have that man's on TV, which is true.
True stories.
He does.
You're not wrong.
He does love his John Moxley. So, I mean, maybe he'll be a nice boss and give him like 2 weeks off. All right. So, okay. We're going to get into this match, I swear. Crash says, I don't think there's any Wrestle Dynasty in January, but it could change. I don't know. I think they're being very careful with how they announce things. But maybe they're moving it. Maybe it's not going to be in January. Maybe it'll be a different time of the year if it still happens. So, but thank you for that, Crash. All right. So, women's match. Toni Storm is defending her AEW Women's Championship against 3 women that she handpicked. She's facing Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter, and Tekla. All 3 women have a path to victory. Like, you can see this isn't as random as it seems. Because people are like, because Toni just basically went around and pointed and was like, I want to face you, you, and you. And so Chris, obviously, this is, if you had not had a chance, Lyric did a 2-part interview with Stat for Sports Illustrated. That was really good. I finally got a chance to read, because part 2 came out yesterday. I finally got a chance to read part 1 last night. So clearly I read them both together. But Stat has not had a title shot in 4 years, but she made the point that she didn't necessarily deserve a title shot because she was given early opportunities and she failed with them. She was injured for a really long time. She tore her ACL and her MCL. It took her a long time to get back.
Yeah,
and then she's the one who defeated Jade to become the TBS. She ended Jade's 508-day reign as TBS championship. So she was like, it's not like I've done nothing. I was the TBS champion for a while. And she's like, I did the street fight with Willow. Like, I've done these things. And she said, but now I kind of feel like I have earned this match now. And she's like, so, you have that story. Jamie and Toni obviously go way back. There's a lot of history there between them. Jamie told her on Wednesday, I don't forget. And so she was like, I know what you did. Like, we have this history. And when Jamie got injured, that's how Toni became interim champion because of Thunder Rosa. Never mind. I was thinking it was because of Jamie, but no, that was Toni. Mm-hmm. I mean, Thunder Rosa. But they have lots of history there. So there's definitely that. And then you have Tekla, who is this new force in the women's division. She's with Triangle of Madness. She's got a lot of momentum on her side. They've been picking up wins. So all 3 of these are viable people to beat Toni Storm. The question is, do they do it tonight? Do they do it in a way, or do they do it, or does Toni keep her title and Toni loses it in a one-on-one match? What are your thoughts here?
I really don't think Toni's losing tonight. I don't see that happening. I mean, she could, and if she does, it should be to Jamie Hayter. Like, she should win, in my opinion.
I think Toni retains, and I think Stat gets so frustrated by losing yet again. This is how they get her in Death Riders, or she at least takes their advice, or and starts doing some of the things that Daniel Garcia is doing, where she's not so nice. Maybe we do get a full heel turn from our real one this time that doesn't last 5 minutes. And because she did say in Lyric's interview, she was asked about Death Riders, and she said, all I'll say is Jon Moxley has been super successful, and maybe he's not a bad person to get advice from. So, and we saw him give Daniel Garcia advice, and he lost the match, and then Daniel Garcia ended up joining. So I could see them doing that with Chris.
The same thing with Chris. That makes some sense.
I know some people have said that maybe they help Chris win, like maybe Wheeler gets involved, or even Marina, and they help her to win. But I think that they don't get, maybe they try to get involved here. I think Chris loses, and it forces her into Death Riders, or she takes John's advice here. And I think Toni does drop the title soon, perhaps as early as Wrestle Dream, but I think she does it in a singles match.
Yeah.
But I think this is more of a storyline, but I can't tell. Chris could potentially take the pin here to push the story into the Death Riders thing, that it looks like Stat's going to win. Toni retains it. Chris gets so angry that she lost, or so upset that she lost, that she's like, you know what? I'm going to listen to Jon Moxley now. And I'm going to, he helped me get my $100,000. He keeps giving me advice. He's now helping Daniel Garcia. I want to be part of that because what I'm doing is not working. So I think that's kind of where we're going here. But regardless, I think that Toni retains. And I think that maybe Jamie and Tekla kind of fight each other and kind of take themselves out of it. Or they fight into the back, or they are too busy fighting each other that they don't realize that Toni is in the ring with Chris and pins Chris, and they're on the outside. And then you can continue that feud as, well, you cost me the title because I was focused on you, so it's your fault I lost the title. So I think that kind of builds the story, it keeps the storyline with Jamie and Tekla going.
Which I have zero problem with because they're both awesome, and that's a great feud.
Speaking of interviews, Haley, who writes for Vice, she did a really great interview with Tekla. Tekla seems like such a cool person, and
that's awesome.
Posted it's in the interview, but Haley posted the clip of it to, I know she posted it to her Instagram. I don't know if she posted it to her other social media, and it was just talking about Tekla had this fan interaction in Philly where the woman got so into what was happening with Tekla beating Toni Storm that she grabbed Tekla's face and asked her what she was doing, and I guess she got so caught up she didn't realize what she was doing, and Tekla said she just kind of pushed her arms away, and then security came over. But she was like, Tekla was talking about how she wrestled in small venues in Austria, so she's like, I'm used to like fans getting involved and being super close. So she was like, for other people, they probably would have freaked out, but she's like, I'm used to that. But like, it's so crazy that the woman got so into what Tekla was doing to Toni Storm that she literally put her hands on my face and looked into my eyes. And then I guess the woman did not realize like what she did.
She was just so focused on what she was witnessing.
So, which is crazy.
Well, that's insane, because like that's being so engrossed in a book or a movie or a form of entertainment that you like lose yourself entirely.
Right.
That's pretty impressive. And she's so young. She's still fairly young.
She's not been wrestling very long at all. Which is crazy.
She's great.
The interview is really great. So before we go on to the next match, I'm going to read. We got some thoughts on this one. that yes, this is a really cool poster. I tried to collect as many of the cool AEW posters as I could find.
Sam got me as many good ones as she could.
Daza said, I'm really getting tired of podcasts of saying champions are done for volunteering to defend against multiple people. I think it makes them badass. And in this situation where Toni has beat so many women, like, I like that
she's out there daring people to come get her.
Right. She was like, you know what? Nobody, because she keeps saying she wants to meet her murder, and she hasn't. She's like, well, fine, I'll pick 3 people that might murder me.
Right.
Crash said, I lean towards her keeping the title, but still believe she doesn't need it. No, absolutely she does not. Maybe AEW needs the title on someone like Toni more than she needs it. Toni certainly does not need the title. She'll be just like Jon Moxley didn't need the title. Toni does not need it. She will be over regardless. So I don't see her title reign lasting that much longer. I just don't think it ends today.
Yeah, I don't think today is the day. I do think that match is going to be amazing, but
I'm definitely looking forward to it. Daza said this should be a setup to Toni starting her next one-on-one feud with one of the others. Right.
Yeah.
I agree. Laurent says either Toni retains or Sat wins with the help of the Death Riders. Crash says it's a business call to keep it on Toni for me right now. Yeah, it definitely would be a business call. Laurent says when Toni drops the title, it needs to be in a one-on-one match. So the person who defeats her gets the rub. 100%. I agree with you 100%, Laurent. You're totally right. Maria says, I think Tekla wins the title. It's time Toni loses the belt. Like, I would not be mad at Tekla winning the title.
No, me either. I think that'd be
a great champion. She'd be really good.
It'd be wild. I think that the internet would explode if that happened, but
yeah,
I think it could be awesome.
You know, they could have had Megan Bayne beat Toni, and they didn't. And the internet would have lost their mind then. So they absolutely would do it here too. Jermaine says this is where Willow gets involved by accident because she's going after Marina, and it costs Sat the match, which could get Sat to join the Death Riders. I mean, yeah, you certainly could. Yep. There's always the Willow factor.
Kind of in the same vein of what Sam is saying is that because of the frustration, she finally is like, okay, fine, I am one of you.
Right. And Willow could definitely get involved here because, you know, that Willow and Chris has obviously been the ongoing story for a long time now, and All Out is where they had the Chicago street fight, so they have history at this pay-per-view. Crash says that Toni is just too uber frau.
Yeah. No.
Daza said he admits that he doesn't like multiple title matches. Been one fall, but he prefers the elimination style. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Laurent says I don't trust TK to make the bold move and take the title off of Toni. He didn't put it on Megan Bayne after building her up as a monster healer, Mercedes or Athena, who were undefeated champions. Yeah, Toni's absolutely losing the title. It's just not today. Mm-hmm. I will be shocked.
Yeah,
I might have to do a run-in on the post show if Toni.
Yeah, you might.
If Toni loses the title today.
That's a big one.
Jermaine says, I think Toni drops the title to Mercedes a rematch. I think that's where they're heading with this. And I'm with Laurent. It has to be in the whether she drops the title or not, Toni has to have a main event before she drops her title.
I agree.
She has more than earned it. Laurent says, or I'm sorry, Crash says Tekla was just such wild energy. Love her, but just the pity she doesn't present as much smaller than some of her peers in AEW. I think it would help her if they build her up as a monster with some good sells. That's fair. Yep, there we go. There's the comment. Laurent says Toni needs the main event of pay-per-view before she drops it. She has more than earned the right. 100% agree, but I don't think Toni drops it here.
Not here. And I do think if you're gonna do a women's main after she's done all this work, it's almost gotta be with her.
Right.
All right. Moving on. Getting close to showtime.
Yes, this match is one that I'm super excited for.
Yeah, this isn't gonna suck.
Yeah, I still don't like Okada being in a tournament for his own title.
Of course.
But you know, whatever. This is how we get here. But which is funny. I saw a clip from Wrestling Observer that came up because I saw the person who quote tweeted it. So Dave Meltzer said that Mascara Dorada is in this match because a few months ago somebody made a fake graphic saying Mascara Dorada was wrestling Takeshita. Dave saw it on his way out the door, thought it was a real match, talks to Tony after, and was like, what happened to Takeshita versus Mascara? And Tony's like, it was a fake graphic, but now I need to see it. And that's how we're getting this match. It's because somebody made a fake graphic. And so the person who made it, Connor, his thing I think is just at Connor. I can't remember what his whole thing is, but he's very active on the Twitter. But he's the one who made the graphic. And so now, and he tagged Tony last night. So this is why this match is happening, is because this fan spoken into
That's
existence.
kind of fun. That's like misrepresented, or like a fantasy meme gone right for a change.
Right. Yeah, this match is going to be a banger. It's good. I mean, and then we've already got the tension between Okada and Takeshita, because Don Callis' golden boy has been Takeshita, but now Okada is also his golden boy. He's the best tournament match winner in history. You have and Takeshita wants to be number one. He just won the G1. But Okada is the one with the title. And so they're definitely planting the seeds for the eventual Takeshita turning on Don Callis. We're getting him versus Okada at some point. They're planting the seeds. Mascara had a banger last night. He was in a trios match. Wait, was it a trios match that he was in? I think so. But Mascara is one of the people flying in from Mexico for this show. Okada is very clearly retaining this title. So the match is going to be a banger, and I'm here for it. This is definitely one of my matches of the night. It's going to be this one.
Well, this is going to be great. There's nothing. Yeah. There's no. Again, this show has a lot of really solid matches on.
Yeah.
All right, let's see it. Where we go? And what's next? Here we go. It's a tiny little picture. I couldn't find a bigger picture.
This was one of the graphics from the AEW Twitter account. Mercedes versus Riho. Apparently, there's some people who are mad that Riho came back and automatically got a title shot, but it's Riho. Let's not forget what Riho did for this women's.
Isn't Riho the first women's champion from AEW?
She was the very first AEW women's champion. She carried this company through the early days of the women's division that was not very good, where there was only a handful of good wrestlers. There were some solid ones and then some not good ones at all. This division has come a long way since 2019. And Riho missed a lot of time because she got injured in her match with Lady Frost last year. Prior to that, she'd also had, I believe she had some visa issues. But anytime Riho's on TV, ratings go up. She is a proven rating.
People love Riho.
Riho is, and Mercedes needs to wrestle someone like Riho. Yeah. And I was writing about this match for Wrestling Inc. They were doing a new column called Draws versus Duds, and this is one of the ones I said was a draw. And I was like, Mercedes, she's not faced Thunder Rosa. And then the other two women's champions are no longer with the company. One obviously is renamed Blake Monroe. The other one is Threa, and she's gone. So Mercedes needs to face. I think as she continues to grow her powers and collect her belts, she needs to be facing the women who paved the way for her in this company. And I don't think she will, but should Riho win, she would be the first woman to have held both the women's title and the TBS championship. So that would be really cool for her. Obviously, Mercedes wins here, but I think the match is going to another banger. I think I am super excited for this match. I think it's going to be a really good one because
I hope they give them some time. I know that there's a lot on the card, but I hope they give them some time because I think this could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, Fernando says that the CEO totally
wins.
Yes, totally. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's the obvious winner here, but that doesn't mean the match is not going to.
The match is going to be really good, though.
Yes, and I'm just glad that Riho's back, and I hope Riho's here to stay, and that we're going to see her a lot more often now that she's back.
I agree. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I get it, but Riho, I will never speak badly.
Yeah, but she's the first woman. I mean, at the end of the day, like Sam said it, she was here at the beginning. She carried the division, and
she's one of the cornerstones.
Everyone loves her. Like all the demographics love Riho. All of them. She's like one of the universal demographic pleasers.
Right, exactly.
You can't argue with that.
No. Real quick, Crash says that Geto needs to get his booking finger out for King Take in November, but someone else will be to blame, of course.
Of course.
Always. All right, so we had some fun tournament matches to get to this. Not tournament matches. I mean, I guess they were like eliminator style matches or whatever they were calling them. To get to this match, which will be awesome. We're getting a World Tag Team title match and a 4-way ladder match. First of all, let's hope, I mean, for the entire card, but particularly this one where we have seen injuries in ladder matches, especially Dante Martin comes to mind every time there's a ladder match. So hopefully everybody comes out of this as healthy as possible. God, it's going to be a good one. So we have our champions, Brodito, taking on the no longer poor or not as poor Young Bucks, Jet Speed, and Hechicero versus Josh Alexander. So this match is just going to be insane.
I caught that. Was it Matt was back at wasting the money on the slot machine?
No, it was Nick. Matt was trying to get him to stop.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's old school BT. He just can't help himself.
Nick said he told Renee, when I win this money, I'm going to the slot machines because that's what he used to do. And so of course they did a whole BTE segment of them, and he's like losing money, and Nick is like trying to get him to stop.
He never learned.
Really, they didn't lose all of it because they gave Renee money. They paid Charlie. They paid Justin Roberts. They tried to pay the referee, and he was not having it. So they did make a little bit of money. They apparently didn't spend it all. And also because Crash said this, and it reminded me, he was just saying bang, bang, but Bang Bang Gang Juice and Austin, I thought had a really solid match with the Young Bucks. And I need, just much like my tribal chief needs to pick up some wins, which he did pick up one in ROH the other night, but I need Mercedes to book him to win some big matches. So while she's busy booking herself to win titles, I need her to book her man to win big matches. But also I need Juice Robinson to pick up some wins, you guys.
Yeah.
I need it. I need it. But yeah, and Hechicero, as I mentioned last night, wrestled in Mexico he was in the same match as Mascara Dorada, I want to say, unless I'm confusing my matches. But Hechicero had a really cool match last night. I hope he wears it tonight because it was very cool. But Hechicero was very cool. So he's just, I love that guy. And they actually were talking about Zack Sabre Jr. last night because of their feud. They're talking because on English commentary, which Beta Scott was one of the announcers on English commentary for CMLL last night, which was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I do. This match is going to be a banger, but Brodito wins.
Brodito,
I don't think. Like Nikki said, Tony Khan is obsessed with Bandito right now. So, and I just think Brodito, I mean, you know what? I don't think the Young Bucks, I don't think we're ready for them to start winning matches like this yet. I think they got to.
They're not back yet. They're not all the way back.
I don't know when he is coming. However, they hinted, so the last 3 episodes of BTE, which I think there only have been 3, they always reference Jack Perry. Jack Perry either calls, the time before that was the real glass Coke Pepsi bottles. This time, So if you follow Jack on Instagram, you know that he hand makes a lot of things, including knives. He made a knife and sent it to them and wrote a letter and said, for the next time you want to stab me in the back. Does he come here? I don't know. He's getting close. I think he's coming back at Homecoming on I think that's October the 7th. It's a Tuesday night show. It's in Daly's Place. I think that's where Jack Perry comes back. I don't think they bring him back. I think they keep hinting at him, but I think they wait until because you're already this close to it and they've been hinting at him for a few weeks. You can keep it going for a little bit longer. I think he comes back at Homecoming. But I do think Brodito wins here. I believe you're muted.
You got Eddie coming back tonight, so you don't need to overdo it.
That's true too. I mean, unless they're wanting to be like Double or Nothing when they brought in Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson.
It's not like it won't work, but
and let's not forget they always forget Ruby Soho also came that same night.
That's true.
Everybody forgets. They always talk about, understandably so, because Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson came back to back, but Ruby came back earlier that night, so she always gets left out. All right, we have made it to our main event, which I thought this poster was really cool. I
do too. It looks really
stand
fun.
by what I said last week. The match is going to be a banger. It's going to be great. I don't like this being Hangman's second title defense. I don't like him defending his title against the champion in his second defense. I don't like it. But the match is going to be a banger. I like how they've built it up. I thought the contract signing segment was really good.
Yeah, it was.
Hangman told him that this contract stipulation is nobody from Don Callis' family can be out there. He wants to beat Kyle one-on-one. Nikki wondered, does that mean it could be somebody else who is not in not in Don Callis' family that comes? I think that if somebody even if they weren't affiliated with Don Callis, I think that still would go against the stipulation. But I guess if he's specifying no Don Callis family, sure, it does leave the possibility of potentially somebody like MJF paying somebody to come interfere.
Right.
There's potential for that. I don't think that that's what they're doing here, but it certainly is possible. That does, he didn't say nobody can come out here. He said nobody from the Don Callis family can interfere. So they did kind of make that specification, but I think hopefully they don't do that, because I think Kyle needs to wrestle this match one-on-one, because Kyle Fletcher he's good enough to beat Hangman. Do I think he wins here? No. Could he beat Hangman in a non-title match? 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, it's not time. It's just not. I genuinely hope they keep the shinny. I hope that they stick by the steps, because I think it will make for a better match. I think it will make the match more meaningful in the story that they're trying to tell.
I think so too. And one of the things I loved about that promo with Hangman is like, the day after this match, when you do not beat me, that's what you're going to have. Nobody tells you what that's like. You are going to have to deal with that. And then the choices you make because you did not win this match, and the decisions you make tomorrow and in the weeks ahead and the months ahead. And he told him, he said, don't disappoint me. Hangman is warning him, don't become like me. I lost that match to Chris Jericho, and look what happened to me. I burned a man's house down.
Yeah, right.
I stuck a syringe in a man's mouth. And then I nearly came back and finished him off. Right. I think that was really huge which also points to Hangman retaining, because Kyle is clearly a TNT champion, which I think I hope he holds that title for a while, because I think he's huge fan of Kyle Fletcher. But I really like that Hangman was like, you don't know what's going to happen to you when you lose this. You think that you're going to beat me. And then what happens to you? Yes, you've got this TNT championship, but you don't have the main title. And so I really liked that. I thought that was really well done. And also, again, I know I've been plugging people's interviews all day, but Doc with Chris Mueller with Bleacher Report had a really great interview with Kyle. And Kyle puts over Hangman a lot. And he was talking about how even before he was signed to AEW, he was a fan. He was like, I was in Australia staying up and watching pay-per-views. I watched Hangman's entire, character arc of where he's been. So he's like, I watch him as a fan and now I watch him as, an opponent. He had a lot of really great things to say. He clearly respects Hangman a lot.
That's awesome.
Which I think is really cool. And the match is going to be a banger. I just don't like that he's wrestling another champion in his second defense. I hate that. What are your thoughts on this one? Or wait, did we already do that?
I mean, no, I essentially agree with you. I mean, this is Hangman's routine. I do hope that they keep the shenanigans out the way because I think it will make the match better and the story better. And and hopefully they have a strong out like they did the last pay-per-view because that pay-per-view I was like involved the entire way and happy at the end.
Yes, I am too. I'm looking to see. I believe I will get to the comments. I think Nikki might be weighing in on this match, so I'm looking to see. Okay. Oh, Nikki wanted to say, because Nikki said the thing about they worded it as Don Callis family. And so she says it's not that what she wants to happen. She just wouldn't be surprised because of the wording that he specifically said Don Callis family. Does that open up for a non-Don Callis family member to come in and try to interfere? Which I wouldn't put anything past Don Callis.
Well, yeah, it's certainly possible. And there's no reason to believe that couldn't happen.
Yes.
But it would really be a better story, in my opinion, if they didn't have that.
And sure, they could also have somebody try to interfere and it fail, but I don't want that either. I would rather this just be, I want Hangman to beat Kyle Fletcher clean.
It would be nice.
And if Kyle Fletcher beats him, I want Kyle Fletcher to beat him clean. I want Kyle Fletcher to prove that he can beat someone of Hangman's caliber on his own because he can. He's that good, But yes, I don't put anything past Don Callis.
Right.
So let's see here. Fernando says Hangman retains. Crash says both men are going to come out of this looking like gold. I suspect. I think so too. Maria thinks Davis will come back and help Fletcher become a double champion. Not that I know there are airplanes and things like that. Davis, according to his Insta stories, has been in Australia. He's been back home. But that was also a few days ago that he last posted. So it's plenty of time to fly from Australia to Toronto. So it's certainly possible. He does talk about Aussie Open in that interview and talks about how Davis, he's so thankful for Davis because he was only 18 when they started traveling the world together and Davis helped him out a lot. So, I mean, it's certainly possible. And he's an unwilling participant. He does not want to be in the Don Callis family, but Don Callis.
That's a fair point. I mean, that is
a job. He has to wrestle for the Don Callis family, or he doesn't get to wrestle at all. So it's certainly possible that they could go
I guess
that
if
route,
anyone
Maria.
was gonna get involved, that makes sense because of the wording. Mark Davis would make sense, actually.
I mean, he is part of the Don Callis family. He had to become, so he is a member.
Oh, is he? I feel like he was never indoctrinated. He is. Okay.
No, he's officially, because when he came
he's in the cult. Okay.
Yes, unwillingly, but yes, he is in the cult. I believe he would be considered an actual.
Although if you get Mark Davis defecting and you get Takeshita defecting, the Don Callis family starts to look less familial at that point.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, that's probably long-term telling, but storytelling.
Right, for sure.
They don't do that here at AEW. So.
No, of course not at all. Lauren says they need to have a men's world title match without a bunch of shenanigans. It's been a while since they've done that.
Agree with you.
You are so right.
Great.
You are so right.
That's how I feel about this match. I would love for this to be a serious singles main event.
Because I think it will show
match.
even with Kyle Fletcher losing, it shows that he is
capable.
He is that caliber. And I said it last week or the week before that I think Kyle Fletcher is a AEW World Champion within 18 to 24 months.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's today.
I don't think it's today. But I think he can go. But going toe to toe with arguably one of your best wrestlers, and he is clearly your champion. Yeah. I think that does a lot for Fletcher, and that's clearly what this match is for. Even though I don't like the title thing, this match is clearly to set Fletcher up for the future. And also, Hangman needs to be beating younger guys and beating guys of Kyle Fletcher's caliber as well. So this match is going to be a banger.
Yeah, I love it. I like this match. So.
Crush says also, even if Fletcher loses, which seems likely, if they have a great match, it'll really level up the TNT title. Right. Which is what I thought we were originally doing here before they did. Cause I was like, well, they don't do title versus title. And this isn't title versus title because the TNT title is not on the line. But that's what I thought they were doing here when when Kyle Fletcher took out Kenny Omega and then he went after Hangman. I was like, oh, they're trying to make the TNT title elevated and make it as important, which I guess they're still, obviously they're still doing by having this match. And so yes, a double rub on this one for sure. Yes. So I believe, unless there are any pictures that we somehow skipped out of order, this should be the last
one.
So what is your predicted match of the night?
I honestly believe that the main event may be my match of the night because I really think these two are going to bring it.
Yeah, I think.
I'm staring at it. I'm thinking about it. We've been talking about all those other matches. This belongs at the top of the card. For real today, I think. I think both women's matches are going to be great. Yeah, I think the 4-way is going to be pretty dope.
I feel like the match of the night is either, or it's going to be, they're going to be tied. It's going to be this one, and it's going to be Takeshita versus Okada versus Mascara Dorada, just because that is the type of wrestling I enjoy. I love all three of them. I'm a huge Okada fan. I freaking love Takeshita. Takeshita and Bandito are they are tied for Wrestler of the Year. Mm-hmm. They are both, because they have both put on incredible matches, and Mascara Dorada is fantastic too. So I would say those are probably my matches of the night. And do you have a sleeper match?
I would call my sleeper probably gonna go with Daniel Garcia and Shibata, because that could be on a card this heavy. I think something like that could be forgotten easily, but could be a really solid match. Yeah, and it's happening super early. It's happening on the Tailgate Brawl, and so much stuff is going to happen after that. For me, I think it's going to be a really good one. I think more people are worried about the 4-way and the fact that there's 4 women in it, and so they aren't taking into account what could happen in with those 4 women. So I don't necessarily think it's a sleeper match, because obviously looking at it, I think it's going to be a phenomenal one. But I do think the workhorsemen are going to show out. I would definitely say that. I think maybe the sleeper could end up being MJF versus Briscoe. Yeah, I was just looking at it going, I think people are looking at it and they think it's going to be good, but I think it's going to end up being better than people are expecting. I think that we kind of dismiss the attacks and things a little bit and forget that those two are really awesome wrestlers. Right. And they have a lot of chemistry on top of that. And MJF is coming into this off of a huge loss. Like, he just lost his title. And even cheating could not help him win. And so I think MJF is gonna Nikki just waited. I think that MJF is really I think he's gonna really come after, I think he was already excited, really gonna show up for this match because of the feud with Briscoe, but coming off of such a huge loss, I think it's gonna add even more. I still think Briscoe's gonna win, but I think we're gonna see a different kind of MJF than we've got to see lately. I mean, his match with Hangman was really good. So I feel like he's gonna deliver. And generally, which I'm wondering if he's gonna, how early in the card he's gonna be, because MJF is always
but I'm not in the main event. I want to be first. Clearly, we know we're opening with CNC versus FTR.
Right,
So but do you do a tables and tax match as the second match on the card? But you also have a ladder match that you've got to space out.
Right.
So do you do the ladder match first? And space that out and hold MJF. Maybe it also depends on when MJF lands today from from Mexico. So there's also that. Nikki said, I will read some of the comments, but Nikki says that she said she's just so excited for Edward returning. Just give him a mic. Which yes,
true story.
And then she said clearly hype AF for Workhorsemen. Same. Fernando says that the main event will be the match of the night. Crash says Hangman and Fletcher, hands down. The main will be the match of the night. Bob says he's definitely Team Brodito. Me too. Even though I was kind of not against them, but I was annoyed that a real tag team was not in the tournament, and then they won, but they're clearly a real tag team. And also Bandito still has 2 belts. We got to figure out what to do with that ROH title, Tony Khan. Crash says tag team ladder match, is that a sleeper? Even though probably not. Yeah, I feel like it's hard to pick a sleeper on this card because everything like
this is.
I'm not like as super hyped for like I like CNC. Clearly, my feelings on FTR, but like I'm not one of the people. I say I'm not one of the people super hyped, but then watch the match is going to start, and then I'm going to be, TLC all over again. And I shout out to Ed to Cope the other night saying we had a match that a pay-per-view got named after.
Yep.
Yes,
thank you.
Sure did. And my favorite though was Christian saying, I am rich. Like the 500,000 doesn't anything to him because he's rich. And it made me think of, and this man never tweets, and he tweeted a man with a whole bunch of just throwing out a bunch of dollars or something like that the other day, which is funny because Christian really tweets.
He cracked me up. He's so
but
great.
It made me think of that clip of Cher when her mom talks about how you need to marry a rich man, and she says, Mom, I am a rich man. So it made me think when Christian said I'm rich, it's what it made me think of was I am a rich man.
I love that he just has asshole in his freaking opening.
Like he says nothing the whole time, and then he grabs the mic and he said Christian, and because he said Cope and Christian, and he grabbed the mic and he said Christian and Cope.
Christian and Cope.
Like he just stands there.
I was like, all right, you're being awesome right now. Like yes. I know that's going to be huge because that crowd is going to be the crowd for that. So
well, and that's
I watched all that. We both did. But we watched all those tag teams. We loved all those tag teams. It's fine. Like, and they're starting with it, so at least they're like I feel like that's pretty conscious of Tony to start with it,
right? To get the crowd super super hyped, and then you've got to keep the excitement going. So, do you go into your tag into the tag ladder match? Do you do your thumbtacks or your tacks and tables match, or do you bring them down just a little bit, but you do it and maybe you just do a 3? I don't know. This card is going to be really good. I'm excited for this card.
Wild.
Fernando says his triple threat for the unified title will be a sleeper. Yeah, I feel like some people are overlooking that, especially because Okada's retaining. But pay-per-view Okada, big match Okada when big match Kazoo shows up. And he's wrestling against Takeshita. And this is not to discount Mascara Dorada, but Takeshita is about to be his new rival. And with these little stories they're telling, which I think could be dangerous, I don't think Mascara Dorada is going to win, but I think he's going to overlook Mascara Dorada because he's going to be too focused on Okada. Takeshita. Crash said he really hopes the MJF loses. I really need to experience a worldly MJF meltdown of epic proportion losing to Chicken Man.
I'm kind of with you there.
Yes, and then Crash said then Christian broke Dax's nose with a mic shot to the mustache. He sure did. Yeah. The tailgate brawl starts in 1 hour, and then the main show starts in 2 hours. So we're getting very close, and
we are indeed.
And so before we go, if you missed the posts on social media, there are going to be 2 post shows today. So at, I believe, around 8:45-ish. Of course, it depends on when the pay-per-view ends. So make sure that you are either already subscribed to this channel and have your notifications turned on, or you're following us on social media. But there will be a post show for All Out, which I believe is that Garrett and Jeremy that are doing the All Out post show.
I believe that that's right.
Yes, and then there is, I believe at 11:45 Eastern is the scheduled time, which obviously can fluctuate depending on what time WrestlePalooza ends. But there will also be a live WrestleMania post show that will be happening as well. So very busy on this channel today. You get to start your morning, start your day with us, and you can end it. And then if you don't even want to watch WrestlePalooza, you can just come watch the post show and find out what happened.
Yeah, you can listen to them. They usually do. They do an amazing job breaking things down. So, and I mean, if you're gonna if you don't want to watch it, that's definitely the group of people to get your insight from. That's who I usually get my. If I'm going to get a WWE rundown, I go to the folks from the Wrap and so forth, because that's where it's at.
Yeah, so. They're great at that. So definitely make sure you come back. But you should already just subscribe to this channel, but you can also go ahead and put on a notification and it'll tell you right where they're going live. No, there will not be a show tomorrow since we did our show today. Mel and I both have IRL things that we'll be doing tomorrow. It worked out that way. I've got something to do tomorrow evening. I believe you said at the beginning you will be at fair tomorrow. So
going to see my friends.
We will be back at our regular time next week on Sunday. We will be here at our normal 1 p.m. time slot. We hope that you enjoy the show, and we will have next week, come hang out with us, and we'll have lots of All Out Fallout information.
All Out Fallout. Woohoo!
Love saying Fallout, because who knows what's going to happen on this show. And then we have Dynamite and Collision on the way to our show. So, because now we'll be building for not only Wrestle Dream, but you're also building for Homecoming, which is the big show where they're going back to Daly's place. There's 2 shows in October for that. So we've got big stuff heading this way with them. So definitely make sure you come join us next week. Follow us here, and you follow Fight Game Media on social media. You can also follow Powerbombshells. I do have an interview that is coming up soon. I have started it. I've got to transcribe it. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, depending on what happens. I do have something to do tomorrow evening, but hopefully during the day, I'm going to try to transcribe as much as I can. So fingers crossed that it'll be out on Monday, but we will see.
All right, you guys enjoy All Out, and we will see you next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank everyone for chatting with us. We really appreciate you guys.
We do.